You hear the word tuberculosis, and you probably think of something from the history books, right? Maybe from old novels or black and white movies. But the thing is, this ancient plague isn't a relic at all. It is still one of the deadliest infectious diseases on the entire planet. And the story of why it's still so tough to beat? Well, it's pretty incredible. So that's really the big question here, isn't it? How can a disease we've known about for thousands of years, a disease we actually have drugs for, still be such a massive global threat? The answer? Well, it's all about the unbelievable toughness of the bug itself and the super complex game plan we've had to cook up just to fight back.
Okay, so to really get your head around just how big this problem is, you can't just count the new cases popping up each year. With a long-haul disease like TB, the real story, the true scale of it, is in the total number of people who are living with it at any one time.
And that's where this key idea comes in, the prevalence rate. You see, unlike a common cold that's gone in a week, TB hangs around. It's a long-term fight. So the prevalence rate, which counts all the cases, old and new, gives us a much better snapshot of the true burden of the disease. It's why TB shadow is still so huge.
So here's the bottom line. Tuberculosis isn't just out there. It's a marathon, not a sprint. For both the patient and the doctor, the treatment is long, it's demanding, and it is brutally difficult. And it's that one-two punch of high prevalence and a really tough cure that makes it such a huge challenge, even today.
All right, so who's the actual villain in this story? The tiny culprit causing all this trouble. It's time to properly meet the organism itself, a bacterium that has basically perfected the art of surviving inside us for thousands of years.
Say hello to Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Under a microscope, it's just this thin, rod-shaped bacterium. But that term you see on the slide, acid-fast, it's a huge deal. It's all about its unique, kind of waxy cell wall that won't take up the normal stains in the lab. And this waxy coat isn't just for looks, it's the secret to its incredible defenses.
This thing's survival strategy is just, wow, it's brilliant in a scary way. It doesn't just infect you, it moves in. It literally hides and multiplies inside our own immune cells, the very cells meant to kill it. It can go dormant for years just waiting, only to wake up later. And that waxy shield we just mentioned, it makes it incredibly hard for our immune system and our antibiotics to land a killing blow.
So when you're up against an enemy this smart, with these kinds of defenses, you can't just throw a simple cure at it. Nope. You need a seriously sophisticated battle plan, a multi-drug strategy that's tailored to the exact type of infection you're fighting.
Okay, so let's take a look at the weapons we've got. You've got your first-line agents. These are the big guns, like isoniazid and rifampicin, for your standard run-of-the-mill TB. But, and this is a huge but, when the bacteria start to outsmart those, doctors have to call in the reinforcements, the second-line agents. Having all these different groups of drugs is absolutely critical for tackling the #1 threat in this whole fight.
And that threat is drug resistance. I mean, this is evolution playing out in real time right in front of us. When we talk about MDR-TB, that's multi-drug-resistant TB, we mean the bacteria can shrug off our two most powerful first-line drugs. But then there's XDR-TB, extensively drug-resistant, which is even scarier. That's when the bug resists the first-line drugs plus some of our most important second-line options. Every level of resistance means the fight gets longer, harder, and way more complicated.
So how on earth do doctors keep all of this straight? How do they navigate this maze? Well, they have a playbook, a detailed battle plan, and it looks just like this. This flowchart is really the heart of modern TB treatment. It's a roadmap that guides doctors through all the critical decisions to make sure every single patient gets the exact right combo of drugs to win. Let's walk through it.
Okay, step one, it all begins right here. A patient gets that TB diagnosis. And immediately, the first most important question pops up. What kind of bug are we dealing with? We have to know right away if this particular strain is already resistant to our go-to drugs.
And to get that answer and get it fast, they use these incredible modern molecular tests. You see names like CBNAT there? It's a rapid diagnostic tool. These aren't your old-school lab cultures that took weeks. We're talking results about resistance to a key drug like rifampicin in a matter of hours, and that result is what decides which path we take on the flowchart.
And once those results are in, the path forward just lights up. If the TB is susceptible, great, the patient gets the standard, very effective first-line treatment. But if that test comes back showing resistance, if it's MDR-TB, the whole plan shifts. Now we're looking at a longer, tougher regimen using those second-line drugs.
And for the absolute toughest XDR-TB cases, a highly specialized individual plan gets built from the ground up. This customized approach is our best shot.
All right, so we've talked about treating one person at a time. But what's the end game here? What's the ultimate goal for all of humanity? In the world of public health, we talk about two very different goals for a disease like TB: control and elimination. And understanding the difference is everything.
So let's break that down. Control basically means we're keeping the disease in check. We're knocking it down to a level we can live with, but we have to constantly keep fighting to hold it there. But elimination? Oh, that's the ultimate prize. That means driving new cases down to zero or darn close to it and finally breaking the chain of transmission for good.
So what does darn close to it actually look like? I mean, it sounds a bit vague, right? Well, this quote about the fight to eliminate leprosy gives us a perfect example. The target wasn't absolute zero, but a specific, measurable number, less than one case for every 10,000 people. This just goes to show that elimination, while incredibly ambitious, is a real, achievable goal. And it's what we're aiming for with TB.
Which brings us right back to where we started, doesn't it? We've got the science, we've got the drugs, we have the strategies. But it's a race, a constant, high-stakes race. The bacteria are always changing, always evolving, and drug resistance is a threat that never sleeps. So the final question really isn't if we can fight TB, it's can we adapt and innovate fast enough to finally win this thing for good.